Good morning, dear children of class 7. I hope you are healthy, safe, and happy with your parents at home. Welcome back to part 2 video of the geography lesson air. In our previous learning session, we discussed about the different layers of the atmosphere. We will discuss about the weather and climate and its elements in today's class. Okay. What are the elements of weather? There are 6 main components or parts of weather. They are temperature, atmospheric pressure, wind, humidity, precipitation and cloudiness. Okay, children. We face the weather related questions every day. For example, how is the weather? Okay. Do you have rain? What is the temperature in Salem? It's a warm day. It's a cold day. It's a sunny day. It's a cloudy day. It's a clear day. It's a rainy day. Okay. We face the weather related questions every day. We are answering for that too. Children, what is weather? Weather is the hour to hour, day to day condition of the atmosphere. Dear children, we are in a festive mood. We are celebrating Navaratri. The festival glorifies victory of good over evil. And we are watching IPL too. People from all walks of life, students, youngsters, old agers, middle agers, have all sit in front of the televisions and watch to celebrate this festival of cricket. Okay. Is it going to rain today? Will it be a bright and sunny today? How many times have we heard this from the anxious cricket fans speculating the fate of a one-day match or IPL match? Okay. Dear children, how does weather affect cricket? Good weather conditions and clear skies can help the batsman in scoring more runs. Similarly, overcast and humid conditions can assist the bowling side. On the other hand, bowlers love to bowl in overcast conditions, especially the fast bowlers, because of ball swings and moves in the air in such conditions. Okay. Children, what if rain comes in cricket match? What happens when it rains in the Cricket World Cup? Tell me. Yes, covers are quickly brought onto the field to preserve the pitch. Players will leave the field and umpires play the waiting game. The fate of the matches in their hands. Okay. Dear children, that is a climate. Our next topic is climate. Climate is the weather can change dramatically from day to day. The average weather condition of a place for a longer period of time represents the climate of a place. Okay. Now, do you understand why we have a weather forecast, daily weather forecast? Okay. So, weather can change dramatically from day to day. The average weather conditions of a place for a longer period of time represents the climate of a place. Okay. Say over a period of 20 to 30 years. When the scientists talk about climate, they take into consideration long-term averages of daily weather conditions such as precipitation, temperature, humidity, sunshine, wind, velocity, and atmospheric phenomena such as fog, frost, hailstorm, etc. Okay. Climate influences our way of life as types of house the people live in, the clothes people wear, and crops grown in that area, etc. Okay. Dear children, the term weather and climate are closely related. The difference between them is thus a measure of time. Okay. Scientists who study atmosphere and its related phenomenon are known as meteorologists. Meteorologists. Okay. The study of weather is known as meteorology, and the study of climate is known as climatology. Temperature, pressure, humidity, winds, and precipitation are the main elements of the weather or climate of a place. When we study the weather or climate of a place, we study these elements. Okay. Our next topic is temperature. What is temperature? The degree of hotness or coldness is called the temperature. Temperature changes not only between day and night but also from season to season. Okay. What is insolation? The sun emits a tremendous amount of energy in the form of electromagnetic radiation. The heat and light energy emitted by the sun is called solar radiation. Our earth gets only a small amount, about 1 in 200 million of the solar radiation. The amount of solar energy received by the earth is called insolation. Insolation. Insolation or solar radiation. Okay. Children, answer now. What is insolation? Insolation is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. Intercepted. Intercept means blocked or stopped by the earth. It influences the distribution of temperature. Okay. Dear children, now you tell me, why are poles covered with snow? You studied it in class 6. You studied about the difference between equator and poles. Tell me. Yes, the amount of insolation decreases from equator towards poles. Therefore, the temperature also reduces. But if the Earth's temperature rises too high, it would be too warm to raise crops. Okay. Now tell me, think and tell me why cities are more hotter than villages. The temperature in cities is much higher than that of villages because the concrete and metals in the buildings, okay, the tar in the roads gets heated throughout the day and absorbs heat. This heat is least at night, hence there is a difference in the temperature. The crowded high-rise buildings trap the warm air and thus raise the temperature of the cities. Okay. Our next topic is how will you measure the temperature? Okay. The temperature is measured with the help of an instrument called thermometer. Okay. There are two types of thermometers are available. One is Celsius and Celsius. Another one is Fahrenheit. Okay, two scales they use to maintain. The Celsius and the Fahrenheit scales are the most common temperature scales in use. Anders Celsius invented the Celsius thermometer. On the Celsius thermometer, the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius and the freezing point is 0 degrees Celsius. Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit invented the Fahrenheit thermometer. On this scale, the boiling point of water is 212 degree Fahrenheit and the freezing point is 32 degree Fahrenheit. The temperature on one scale can be converted to another by using the formula. Yes, tell me the formula. You studied in science. C by 5 is equal to F minus 32 whole divided by 9. Okay. Now, let me explain the factors affecting temperature. The first one is latitude. Latitude of a place determines the angle of sun's rays and the duration of light. Okay. 1 minute. Look at the picture carefully. The latitude of a place determines the angle of sun's rays and duration of daylight. In class 6, you studied about the various heat zones of the earth. Earth can be divided into various heat zones based on temperature differences. Okay, the different heat zones of the earth are, yes, one is torrid zone, second one is temperate zone, next one is frigid zone. The latitude of a place determines the angle of sun's rays and the duration of daylight. At the equator, the sun is overhead. At the equator, sun is overhead. So, its heat is concentrated on a small area and the temperature is very higher in the equator region. Towards the poles, okay, towards the poles, the sun shines at an angle. The solar energy spreads over a larger area and the temperature here is lower. Okay. That is why poles are covered with snow. Our next topic is that is a factors affecting temperature. The second one is altitude. The temperature is greater near the surface of the earth and gradually reduces with increase in height. Okay. With increasing altitude, air becomes less dense and contains less dust and water vapor. Heat, therefore, is able to escape more rapidly, lowering the air temperature. Next is distance from the sea. Already you studied about sea breeze and land breeze. Places close to the sea have a moderate type of climate. That is why coastal areas are cooler. Okay. In contrast, places in the interior of large land masses away from the sea have an extreme or continental climate. Summers are hotter and winters are colder than in coastal areas. Next factor is winds and ocean currents. Winds always transport the condition of the places of their origin to lands over which they blow. They influence the temperature of the area. Okay. Winds coming from polar region brings freezing conditions with them. Okay. These winds lower the temperature of the area over which they blow. Winds blowing out from the hot deserts are hot and dusty. These winds make the place where they blow warmer. Okay. Next is the last one is slope of land. The south facing slopes of mountains in the northern hemisphere are warmer than the north facing slopes as they get the sun's rays directly. Therefore, these slopes have higher temperature. The north facing slopes remain in shade. Therefore, these slopes have comparatively lower temperature. Relief, clouds, humidity, soil and vegetation cover are some of the factors which influence the temperature of a place. Okay. Our next topic is air pressure. It's called atmospheric pressure. Our atmosphere exerts weight as pressure on the earth's surface. Okay. The weight of the atmosphere on an unit area on the earth's surface called atmospheric pressure. Okay. Why don't we feel the air pressure? The air above us presses us from all sides with great force. but we do not feel it. This happens because our body exerts a counter pressure. Okay. Define the term air pressure, children. Air pressure is the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the Earth's surface. As we move in the upper layers of the atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. Okay. Tell me, how does air pressure vary from equator to poles and from surface to heights? Tell me, answer now. As we go up the layers of the atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. The air pressure is highest at sea levels. It decreases with increase in height. Okay. Okay, tell me, what is the relation between temperature and pressure? Distribution of air pressure is influenced by the temperature of the area. Where temperature is high, the air gets heated and rises. This creates a low pressure area. Okay. Low pressure is associated with cloudy skies and wet weather. In the areas of low temperature, the air is cold and heavy, so it sinks down. This creates a high pressure area. Okay. High pressure is associated with the clear and sunny skies. Air always move from high pressure to low pressure areas. Okay. That the instrument used to measure atmospheric pressure is called barometer. Tell me, children, why do astronauts wear a protective gear on moon? Astronauts wear a protective suit, that is dress filled with air, when they go to moon, because the counter pressure exerted by the body would make the blood vessels burst. Okay, that is why they wear a protective dress or gear on moon. Okay. Okay, children. Now, let me explain the factors affecting pressure, air pressure. Atmospheric pressure is not the same everywhere. It varies from time and place. Okay. The first one is temperature. When the temperature rises, air becomes lighter, expands and rises upwards. Thus, it exerts less pressure on the Earth's surface. Cold air, on the other hand, is heavier and exerts more pressure. So, an area with high temperature has low pressure and an area with a low temperature has high pressure. Second one is altitude. At the sea level, air is denser and heavier and exerts more pressure. With an increase in altitude, there is a decrease in the density of air and thus atmospheric pressure also decreases. Next one is moisture. Air containing water vapor is lighter than the dry air. Hence, moisture content in the atmosphere increases, pressure decreases. The last one is rotation of the earth. Earth rotation sometimes causes displacement of mass of air, resulting in change in the pressure conditions in the air. Our next topic is wind. The movement of air from high pressure to low pressure areas is called wind. Okay. For example, the wind blows a dry leaves or a strong wind, or it will uproot the trees. Blowing smoke or dust is the work of wind. Strong wind makes it difficult to walk or hold umbrellas. Okay. Now, wind vane or weathercock is an instrument. It's used for showing the direction of wind. Okay. The anemometer is the other instrument used to measure wind speed. ANEMOMETER. Anemometer is the instrument used to measure wind speed. Okay. Next one is winds. What are the various categories of wind? Winds can be classified into three types. One is permanent winds, which blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction. Okay, example, easterlies and westerlies. What are easterlies and westerlies? When air moves in a definite direction, it is called wind. If the winds move from west to east, they are called westerlies. If they move from east to west, they are called easterlies. Okay. Next is seasonal winds, which change directions in different seasons. For example, monsoon winds. The last one is local winds, blow only during a particular period of the day or the year in a small area. For example, land or sea breeze or loo. Okay. Here I mentioned a new term, loo, L-O-O, loo. It's winds that arise due to local or regional changes. The temperature and pressure are known as local winds. The loo, they blow over a small areas for a shorter duration of time. These winds are seasonal. They are associated with weather changes and causes sudden increase or decrease of temperature. Okay, their names are usually derived from the regional languages. Some local winds are loo in India, L-O-O, loo in India. Chinook, C-H-I-N-O-O-K, Chinook in North America. Harmattan, Harmatta, Harmattan in North Africa. And Mistral, okay, Mistral, Mistral in Northern Mediterranean coast. Okay, it's a regional name. This is rain gauge. It measures the amount of rainfall. Okay. Here, let me explain the cyclonic effects which was happened in Odisha during 17th and 18th October 1999. Okay. Odisha is located on the eastern coast, sea coast of India. It's highly prone to cyclone which have the origin of the Bay of Bengal. The cyclone originated as depression in the Gulf of Thailand near Port Blair. It moved in northwest direction on 25th October and intensified into super cyclone and hit Odisha. Okay, the wind speed was up to 260 km per hour, which lasted for 36 hours. Trees were uprooted, kacha houses, rooftops, industrial sheds are blown away. Power supply and communication lines damaged. Continuous line flooded the major rivers. 7 to 10 meter high tidal waves caused damage to paddy crops, vegetables, fruits, and agricultural land turned infertile due to salination. Okay, 13 million people were affected. Plantation of teak, sal, bamboo, mangrove forests were disappeared. Okay, our next topic is about moisture. Moisture is added to the atmosphere in the form of water vapor through evaporation. Evaporation is the process which turns water, that is liquid, into water vapor. Water vapor is also added to the atmosphere through transpiration by plants. But the evaporation occurs at all times and at all temperatures. Okay, the highest evaporation occurs in hot, dry, and windy conditions. Next one is humidity. The actual amount of water vapor or moisture present in air is called humidity. Okay, humidity is always expressed in percentage. Next one is condensation. Condensation is the process through which a substance changes from water vapor to the liquid. Okay, it takes place around dust particles in the atmosphere. For example, clouds, dew, and fog are some important forms of condensation. When small drops of water condense around dust or smoke particles in the air, the mass is called cloud. Okay, clouds move from one place to another even by light air movement. depending upon their shape and the height at which they are formed. Okay, the dew is formed when moist air comes in contact with the cool surface, such as grass, and condense into droplets in water. Frost, F-O-R-S-T, frost is formed when dew occurs in the form of ice crystals. Fog, F-O-G, fog is formed when condensation takes place in the lower areas of the atmosphere, close to the land surface or above the water bodies. Next is precipitation. When water droplets join together, they grow in size until they are unable to float in the air. Then they fall down as raindrops or flakes of snow. This process is called precipitation. Main forms of precipitation are drizzle. Drizzling means that is a minute raindrops. Sleet. Sleet means rain and snow together. That is called sleet. Hail, ice pellets, and snow. Okay. Rainfall is the most common form of precipitation. Depending upon how warm and moist or cools, rainfall can occur in the following three forms. Okay. The first one is cyclonic rainfall. This type of rainfall is common in tropical as well as temperate regions. In a cyclone, when warm and cold air masses meet, okay, the lighter warm air masses overrides the cold air masses. The condensation takes place in the warm air mass and rainfall occurs. The path of the cyclone, okay. This rainfall is very important for the survival of flora and fauna. Flora and fauna already I explained you for the it brings fresh water to the earth's surface. Water scarcity and drought occurs if rainfall is less. On the other hand, floods occur if cyclonic rainfall is more. Next one is orographic rainfall. This type of rainfall is caused by the relief or orography of the land. That is why it is also called relief rainfall. When the mountain or a hill comes in the path of moisture, that moisture laden winds, the moist air is forced to ascend along its slope. Next one is convectional rainfall. This type of rainfall is common in the equatorial or tropical areas where the temperature is generally high. When air comes in contact with the hard surface of the earth, it gets heated, becomes light, and rises in the form of air current. Okay. After the warm air reaches the upper layers of the atmosphere, it expands and loses heat. This leads to condensation and the formation of clouds. These clouds produce sudden and heavy rainfall along with this thunder and lightning. This is called convectional rainfall. Okay. Okay, children. The lesson is over for today. Please read textbook pages 22 to 23 to 27 for homework. I hope all could have understood this lesson. Thank you, children. Stay home, stay safe, and stay blessed.